Turn that damn roof off!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Georgia, as we are live here in the SEC Media Days for college football, live from the College Football Hall of Fame, right here in the great city of Atlanta. I am your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, as we're going to have plenty of things to talk about today, go through the best and worst of the weekend, presented by our friends of Looper Auction and Realty. Do a little vibe checking of the chat, presented by our friends at Basis Health. Get into some summer topics, presented by our friends over at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, as well as get to all of your topics that you want to discuss, Razorback football, basketball, baseball. But fellas, how was the weekend? How we feeling? How's the state of Arkansas treating you today?
Well, hello from Fayetteville, where a hog in hand is better than one in the bush. Things are going well here, and we're looking forward to the start of the Nick Saban era in the next year or two.
Yeah, things are going great. I feel like this is summer days are always fun because, again, you kind of have to find your own madness. You have to find unique things. But with the draft going on and with Nick Saban coming back to college football, reportedly, fakely, rumoredly, whatever, there's plenty going on. And John looks great over there in Atlanta, the best city in the world that he loves being in. And so we're all in good spirits today.
Yeah, I love this city. It's great. That's why I always come here to visit on vacations and whatnot. It's been an experience, but as we know, Arkansas won't be going, and Sam Pittman, as well as the three players he's bringing, which will be Talon Green, as well as Cam Ball and Xavier Sori, they will be heading here on Thursday afternoon. So we'll get to hear from that. But we'll have some topics of discussion with some of the coaches that went today, LSU and Ole Miss being the ones that are on Razorback schedule. So we'll get into that, as well as some other things. But before we do that, I think it's important because, there was a thing that happened last night and is ongoing right now with Razorback baseball and the Major League Draft. And Andrew, I know you've been on top of this with the bombastic and covering that, but it seems like it's been a pretty good MLB draft so far for the Hogs, especially getting a couple guys in the first round. And you're going to have some good situations for some Hogs to go to. But overall, it's been pretty interesting to follow along and seeing where some of these Razorbacks are going to end up going.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, Arkansas had never had 2 first-round picks in the same season ever. Like that had just never been a thing that had happened. There's been, I believe there was 10. Going into yesterday, there were 10 total in program history. You add 4 in one day, it's pretty unreal. And now again, are we allowed to call them all 4 first-round picks? I don't know. They have all those weird middle between rounds selections and all that. I'm counting it as 4 first-round picks. If they happen before the second round starts, you're a first rounder, in my opinion. But it's seriously though, 4 of the top 41 picks. I mean, that's special stuff. It sucks that they have to share this accomplishment with Tennessee, but that's always nice. And you have 4 guys who are very different too. I mean, you got transfers, a left-handed pitcher, a right-handed pitcher, a shortstop, an outfielder. And so you're able to look at any of the best players in the country and say, you can come to Arkansas and have success. Just look at these guys. It's not like you just have, these transfers are doing well, or only these guys you recruited from high school are doing well, or only this one position. It's like you've got a good little mix here, and it's continuing today. There's a lot of interesting news, and we're going to try and cover it all kind of minute to minute. But it's pretty hectic with the MLB draft, but it's always really fun to kind of watch all the chaos unfold. And today they're rattling off 16, 17 rounds worth of picks. So plenty that's going to change about the Arkansas baseball roster in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and I know Curtis is pumped about Liam Doyle becoming a St. Louis Cardinal, man. That's big time. That's big time right there.
I'll take anything at this point with the Cardinals, man. A live electric arm. I mean, the guy they're most excited right now about is another lefty in Quinn Matthews, who, left-handed, but is a completely different type of pitcher than Liam Doyle is. So maybe they can throw those guys back to back in a couple years in the rotation, or maybe they'll sandwich around Tink Hintz, who should have been a Hog, and Mason Wynn, who should have been a Hog. The Cardinals also took another pitcher. I can't remember. I don't know. It was their 3rd pick. I don't know if it was in the 2nd round or 3rd round, but another Tennessee pitcher. So it's kind of crazy. It's going to be tough for me. My most valued and beloved, MLB franchise that's been pissing me off a lot lately. And I want to get excited. I want to look ahead to the future. They've already changed their GM and everything. Now they're going out and drafting the entire Tennessee Vols team. And it's making for mixed allegiances. I really don't know what to do here, but I am excited for them to get Doyle. He doesn't have to face the Razorback offense, so he'll probably be okay.
Yeah, you better hope he doesn't see Charles Davalon in the big leagues. That's not what you do not want to see Charles Davalon facing Liam Doyle in Busch Stadium. But seriously, it is crazy. And Curtis, you're not alone in picking Tennessee pitchers because the entire Tennessee roster has been drafted. There were 24 college players selected in the first round. 8 of them played in the Fayetteville Super Regional. That's unbelievable. Literally a third of the collegiate first-round picks were in that Fayetteville Super Regional with Arkansas and Tennessee. Pretty unreal stuff.
Isn't that just crazy when you think about, the amount of talent that obviously, are going certain places and, like with Tennessee, hey, to have that much talent, but you still lose in the super regionals, which, there's no shame in that. I mean, Arkansas's had some of that happen too, but to just see the type of ways it's changed in Major League Baseball and who gets drafted and how they're drafted and, the decisions that are going to be made, because not just for Arkansas, but in college baseball in general, it's about, all right, well, some of these teams that may have thought we're going to get this player back. Well, now if you got drafted a little bit higher than you thought, it's going to take a little bit more convincing, and you're going to put yourself in a very precarious spot. So I think people are excited to see, for Razorbacks' sakes, people getting drafted. Obviously, like guys like Aloy and guys like Gage Wood, they're not coming back. They're going to go move on, I think. But now it's going to be a matter of, okay, well, when all this is said and done, when the dust settles, how can you do the convincing of getting some of these players to perhaps come back that were drafted into this year's MLB draft?
Yeah, it's weird because, like, a lot of times people during the draft, they're always like, all right, at what point does it now become, you're good and these guys are going to come back to school and then, you're safe here. And I always tell people it doesn't really work that way. Like, honestly, it's all about your signing bonus. It doesn't matter where you get drafted. You get drafted in the 9th round and sign for $1 million, or you get drafted in the 3rd round and sign for 10,000. And you'll see examples of crap like that happen in every single draft. And so every player is different. And the fun thing about it is the answer none of us could ever possibly know. I don't know how much money these kids and their families have. I don't know what their number that them and their representation have come to, but usually that's how it works is everybody has a number. If you're a projected first round pick, your number is probably 4 or 5 million. If you're, looking to just, maybe get something, you're a junior, you're just looking to cash in as much of a signing bonus as you can. Maybe your number is 200,000. And so it's really about what do MLB teams view you as? Will you possibly get that number? And what is that number? And so it's, again, you never know what these kids have set. But when you have these high school kids that announce, hey, I'm officially going to college, that means MLB teams have straight up told them, we are not going to meet that number. Like your number is set. Like and a lot of times you'll have high school kids like a Peyton Stovall who want to go to school. So they set their number very, very high. And sometimes you have situations like Aiden Jimenez where they set that number pretty high and MLB teams say, we got a deal, and then all of a sudden you have a situation. And so once you get later into the draft, you feel a little bit better about it, but really you can't feel good. Like if Justin Thomas Jr., we're sitting here feeling great, and then the last pick of the 20th round, Justin Thomas Jr. gets selected. Well, now there's going to be a negotiating window. And so we can celebrate and kind of read the writing on the wall sometimes, but you never really know. And all it takes is that one team to fall in love with you and reach that number. And so it's crazy. It's chaotic, but we're just going to kind of react to it in the moment as it all plays out.
That's right. And is there a team, guys, you guys think about, like for Arkansas, that is like the Patriots felt like in NFL? That was just Razorbacks. I feel like in the NBA, the Thunder, because of the Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams situation. Is there a team in Major League Baseball? It just feels like it's Razorbacks, the pro team. Because like the Orioles have drafted a few, and obviously the White Sox have had some. But is there one that stands out?
It's brutal, man. Yeah, because there's a couple on those. The Dodgers just went back to back, so they've got to be considered now. Which that was cool. That was really cool. I'm glad that they did that. But yeah, hell, Andrew, you'd have a better answer to that than me, but it seems like there's several franchises out there that have multiple Razorbacks in their system.
Yeah, the entire city of Chicago, the Cubs and the White Sox have I think 5 or 6 each or something like that. That's kind of the hotbed right now. The Red Sox, who drafted Christian Fauch about an hour ago, they now have Brady Tigert. Who's else? Oh, Hudson White's also in the Red Sox system. Of course, Benintendi was there not too long ago. Maybe Jared Sprague. No, he's maybe in Oakland. The Dodgers, I guess now with 2, they drafted Lyle Lockhart not too long ago. The Braves drafted who did they just draft? Was that Beidelshees? I think that's the first time I've seen a Razorback get drafted by the Braves. The Braves and the Cardinals, I feel like, have never, and the Astros. Neither me or Curtis's teams, we never draft Razorbacks. The Cardinals will draft high school kids from Arkansas, but they will not draft Razorbacks. I don't know if that's like a specific thing. So we'll see. The Royals also, weirdly enough, I mean, they drafted Caden Wallace not too long ago. Now they draft Aiden Jimenez today. Hopefully the Royals really lean into that and just draft a ton of hogs, because that'll work. And I see Camo Hog saying that Isaiah Campbell's with the Red Sox right now, which is true. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that because they traded for him. I guess that was like 2 years ago. So the Red Sox are starting to become a little bit. The Red Sox and the city of Chicago are like our new homes.
Well, I just always thought that was funny because I think knowing and growing up in Arkansas, since there's no pro teams, Cardinals overwhelmingly were the home state favorite. It felt like, but there was also Braves fans, a little bit of the Royals, and then some random Stros, some random Rangers, but like the Cardinals were always the heavy hitters. And in fact, forever the Arkansas Travelers were, I believe, a farm team for the Cardinals. And I remember how pissed off everyone was when that changed to the Mariners or whoever. Like, we don't care about that team. We want to see the Cardinals. Well, it is what it is. But like Zach Cox is the only one that ever comes to mind of a Razorback that got drafted by the Cardinals. Like that's like the only one I can remember. So
that's why they don't draft anymore, because he ended up being a huge bust as a first round pick, and they're like, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Well, it's fun too because it's like I saw that I guess for who was Hayden was saying, Andrew, can you explain the compensatory draft? I think I said the word right. Picks like I'm 5 years old.
Yeah, I listen. What explanation I'm about to give you is not the official by the book, because I am also that guy that kind of needs it explained to me a little bit. But basically, my understanding is after the first 3 or 4 rounds, there's like a middle, they call them sandwich picks. And a lot of times, if you like have a specific guy who it leaves you in free agency or like is arbitration eligible and he ends up signing with another team in free agency, like I remember when Carlos Correa signed to the Twins a few years ago, the Astros got an extra pick. And so there's some certain guys where it's in their contract. If they end up signing somewhere else in free agency, you get a compensation pick for that. And then there's also the competitive balance round. So literally teams that have been picking in the top whatever for a certain amount of years, there's a competitive balance round after round 2 or whatever where they start getting a few extra picks. And so it's always about 5 or 6 picks between each round, where it's like a little vague thing there. Always, as a player, I bet that kind of sucks. Like the difference between being a late first round pick and a competitive balance round pick, like that's a hard one. Be like, oh yeah, I got drafted. What round? Oh, the CBA, the CBA round, like, oh, it sounds bad, but really it's like you're a top 40 pick. That's a big deal.
There's a lot going on with that, and it's hard to get a handle on, but I understand that better than I do the NBA situation. Not the draft, but like the protected versus unprotected, this and that, and mid-level exception, veterans, like the amount of money that you can give somebody, aprons that determine how much, like everything about that is very, very confusing to me.
Yeah, and by the way, it's like a weird thing where like obviously there's no salary cap in the MLB. There's like there's an international bonus pool where it's like, hey, you can sign all these prospects, but once you sign a certain amount of international prospects to a certain amount of money, you lose picks for that too. And so sometimes, like I think the first round this year only had like 27 picks or something like that, because there was like some teams that had spent so much. The MLB draft is the most complex draft for no reason at all.
Yeah, and I even remember, I guess when it was the COVID year, they changed something to where it was only 5 rounds or something to that extent of like kind of making it complicated, but that for that 1 year. And I remember that threw a lot of people off. So yeah, it's always been, because there's always so many players and you got the farm systems and everything like that. But it is felt like it's always been a pretty complicated thing to understand sometimes with the MLB. But still, though, it's awesome to see. Anytime you have Razorback news connected with anything, but seeing every year you can count on Dave Van Horn putting a lot of guys into the league and getting first round picks, and of course Fahiva Loy and Gage Wood going first round. I don't think that surprised anybody. But I was here in Atlanta at one of the little sports bars here in the hotel and hanging out with a lot of the media guys, and they were, I mean, I felt like it was about normal, but they were all just shocked that Fahiva Loy did not go like top 5, top 10. I was like, I don't think he was projected at any point in time to go that high. He was projected first round, which he ended up doing, but Gage Wood had a great no-hitter performance that made him a lot of money, but some people I even maybe saw in the chat that we were like, oh, why did Aloy fall so much? I don't know if he fell a whole lot. It's still a first-round pick.
Yeah, I got a lot of that last night too, where they were like, what's going on with Fahiva? I'm like, he was projected to go like 22, 23, like some mock drafts. I think the highest I saw him on a mock draft was maybe like 18, 19 range. But I saw him projected to go in some mock drafts as low as 28. So he ends up going 31. So yeah, it's a few picks later. Not really a big enough drop to like mean anything. And again, it's really all about the signing bonus. So it's like, if the dude ends up signing for $4 million, I don't think we're going to be like, yeah, but he fell 5 picks. So we'll see what that number ends up being. Honestly, Gage Wood, I think if anybody had a drop, it would be Gage Wood. I saw him mocked as high as 12 by Baseball America. Now, of course, he was a little bit all over the place, but yeah, it wasn't like this monumental drop. Like someone commented on my Bombastic last night, and they were like, yep, can't hit the slider down and away. That's what costs Fahiva. I'm like, yeah, he's going to sign for like $3.4 million. I was like, I don't know if it's going to cost him that much money.
I saw a bunch of people trying to chalk it up to his strikeout issues. I'm just like, good grief, man.
Yeah, shortstop that strikes out every now and then. Very uncommon in the MLB.
That's unheard of.
Yeah. No, that's my favorite thing is like, seeing a player who still gets drafted like in the first round. It goes back to the whole thing we talked about, I think Moses Moody. He needs to come back another year. He's got this problem and stuff. And it's like the man got drafted in the first round. Like, it's not like he, went from, it's like same thing with like the Aaron Rodgers deals. Like, yeah, he dropped and it was going to be higher, but you're still a first round pick. It's not like you dropped to the 7th round and you're getting bare minimum wage and everything like that. Like, I think he's going to be okay. And in some cases, as we know, if you go later in the first round, a lot of times better chance you get drafted to a better organization as well.
Yeah, with Moody, they were like, whenever he went like 3 for 12 in that one NCAA tournament game, they're like, yep, that's going to cost him. He's out of the first round now. I was like, I don't know if it's that dramatic.
Oh, hey, man, did you guys hear about the Brent Iredale and Livy Dunn?
OMG.
Man heating up.
Yeah, we got breaking news, guys.
What happened? Wait,
hit the button.
Hit the button.
Okay. Hold on.
With the 203rd pick in the 7th round of the MLB Draft 2025, the Pittsburgh Pirates select Brent Iredale, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, 3rd baseman.
Thanks, Rob Manfred. That was a great impersonation.
They won't let Livy get in Babe Ruth's apartment, but
this is big, man. By the way, the slot value for those that are pocket watching at home, the slot value for this pick, $297,400. So good for Brent Iredale, and I wish him well on his journey. It says something about Brent Iredale that he was a 7th round pick now at Arkansas who hit like 295, like 70 RBI, 13 home runs, 14 home runs, and I think we all were like kind of a little bit disappointed. Like we were all like, I don't know if this guy was really, really all that. But seriously, I mean, again, it tells you how good he is that. What I just said was true, that we all kind of maybe expect a little bit more, but happy for him, man. And I mean, he got what he came to Arkansas to do. I mean, he was draft eligible last year, didn't get the number he was looking for, comes to Arkansas. We'll see what he ends up signing for, but I would say things went according to plan for Brent Iredale. And by the way, guys, next summer when we're doing this exact thing, Arkansas is going to have a 3rd baseman drafted once again, TJ Pompey, who is just a younger, bigger, maybe even more toolsy version of Brent Iredale. So I think Arkansas, it's nice to have your 3rd baseman draft. I think they had Spraglot was like a 9th round pick last year. Then you bring in Brent Iredale. He's a 7th round pick. And then next year, I think TJ Pompey's going to end up being like a 4th or 5th round pick. So I think they're just kind of climbing the ladder at 3rd.
Well, let's say what was Caleb Cali? He was a fairly high draft pick too at 3rd.
Yeah, he was. I think he might have been it's funny. I think he might have been like 10th or 11th round.
Really?
He ended up signing for more. He signed over slot, but I think he fell to like day 3 of the draft. So really, they went from like an 11th round pick to a 9th round pick to a 7th round pick, and then we'll see what TJ Pompey does next year. But yeah, they're climbing the ladder.
Cali was 16th round.
16th round. Oh, so yeah, they took a massive jump. Yeah, I think he ended up signing for like a couple $100,000.
He should have came back another year. He ruined himself for doing that. He should just come back another year. But no, it's cool to see this, man. It's cool to whatever decision that they end up making. You wish them nothing but the best. But no matter what, it just shows to show that hey, Dave Van Horn in Arkansas, you got to win the College World Series. We all get that. But you are a program that puts dudes in the league time and time, year after year, and you do a great job with it. So it's just it's good to see those getting their due and everything too. So, but we'll have a lot to talk about again, folks. We got some football we'll get into, and want to remind everybody that we're presented by our friends over at Hickey and Hull law offices, because we know that divorce and custody cases are far too important to try to face alone. Well, let Hickey and Hole Law provide you with the persistent and diligent representation to help guide you through the entire process, where they have handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that has ever come up. You can also, of course, check out their website at hickeyandhole.com that get you all the different information that they can when it comes to their clients, comes to part of partnerships with you and making sure that you get taken care of. They have offices inside the state of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. So call them today at 479-434-2414 or check out their website, hickeyandhole.com. Got that QR code up there as well. It's Hickey and Hole Law. Things are about to get better. So, so we got that. And again, we'll get to some football talk here too. But I did see, it's funny. I know you're the same way too, Curtis, but every time I get a notification, it's like Joe Tipton tagged you in a tweet, I immediately either get really excited or really going to be mad at myself because I'm like, I don't know who that is and I should. But either way, about 40 minutes ago, the top 15 overall recruit, Tay Kinney, he tagged me in that. And I know that this has been going around that he's going to be taking an official visit to Arkansas. So I know of, everyone's talking about recruiting and deal with the 2026, but it's always cool to see official visits. And I think, and maybe you can speak more on this, Curtis, but in every sport, official visits are important. We know that, but I've always feel like it's such a big deal, especially with Cal. It's like if you get somebody on for an official visit with Cal, it's going to be one of those deals where it's going to be hard for him to leave and not be like, hey, Arkansas's my school that I'm going to.
Yeah, he doesn't bring in guys just for the hell of it. Like if they come for an official visit, he's serious about them. It's just like when, like Eric Musselman, Mark Pope, whatever, those guys just do things a little bit differently, and they go see everybody. And so it almost feels like they're not as much of a priority, but that's just a completely different situation with Cal. He's more selective. If he's sitting courtside, he's all about you. If he has you in for an official visit, he's all about you. And Tay Kinney's coming in the weekend of the Notre Dame football game, which is going to be a big one. A bunch of people. And by the way, this is old news. Like, I don't know why Tipton put it out right then. Like this is something that's been going down, I think, earlier in the weekend. We've been talking about in the Pod the Palace for like 3 days now. But anyway, he's coming for that game. Everybody was in my comments and they're like, oh man, he's coming for the football game. They must not really want him. Like Sam Pittman's going to ruin this recruitment or whatever. I'm like, bro, just let him enjoy the atmosphere. They only keep him there until like halftime anyway. He'll be on the sidelines before the game. He'll see the tailgating, all the pomp and circumstance. And then, they'll be talking to him about money in one of the suites at halftime or something. It's no big deal. But a good player, controversial figure. I've learned on the Discord, a lot of people were taking exception to Tay Kinney compared to some of Arkansas's other backcourt recruits there. But he's a borderline top 10 player in the class and a 5-star. And he's an overtime elite guy. You've already got Carter Knox and Malik Thomas, so there's connections there. But he's also a Kentucky native. So if you had the opportunity to shove Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey in a locker, I say go for it. So I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
John, you mentioned the importance of getting guys to come on visits. I feel like Arkansas and Cal as a program, like whatever you feel about Arkansas as a school and as a program, when you come and visit it, you'll feel better. Whereas I feel like some of those other places, like a Kentucky, like Duke or whatever, it's kind of the opposite, where it's like you think of Duke and like you're like, oh, wow, this program is so awesome. But then you go there, and I haven't been to Durham, so I'm not going to really speak on that. But I feel like from a visit standpoint, it's like I could actually see that where a kid maybe thinks of Duke as one way, then you get there and you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's not like this awesome place. Whereas Fayetteville's probably the opposite, where you're like, okay, Arkansas, I've seen Arkansas play before. But then you come to Fayetteville and you're like, oh, wow. That actually might be a little bit different. I feel like with Mark Pope at Kentucky, that has to be the mindset, though, of like, oh, Big Blue Nation, that's probably this awesome thing. And then you show up and it's like Mark Pope and he's taking you to Slim Chickens and you're like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, he's giving you some glass of warm milk, and some cookies before you leave. Like, yeah, all that.
Now, hey, don't drink these. Don't eat these after 9 p.m.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see it too. Because I don't know what goes on with all these official visits as far as the ins and outs and what's promises are made or anything, but I still just try to keep it from my perspective. If I was a kid, which these guys are going to get recruited by everybody, but it's the Cal impact, man. It's like, oh, if I'm taking a visit to Arkansas, yes, that's one thing. It's pretty cool. If it was must, still, yeah, it was a pretty cool thing. But just take out the school, take out the location, take out the city. You get to meet with John Calipari in person. Oh yeah, I'm going to be there. It's just, that's what I love about these things is just the Cal factor. And I I'd love to maybe overstate it, but that to me is just what I feel like a lot of these players would want to do and just be a part of, regardless of where Cal was coaching. I mean, yes, Arkansas is a great program, but just to be able to say, well, oh, man, it's Cal though, I don't care where it's at. I don't care, what is going on in the campus or what the facilities are. It's John Calipari. So that's where I'm like, as a kid, going to your point, Andrew, going into that situation, that just elevates it where, yes, all the other stuff with Arkansas can be great, but as soon as you sit down and you're looking across and you see John Calipari talking to you and wanting you to do something for him that he can help you, it's just a hard thing to turn down, a hard thing not to listen to.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I'm pretty interested to see exactly how they go about their official visits and everything with this recruiting class, because things are changing pretty quickly. I recorded the Pod at the Palace before the show here today, and one of the things I was talking about is a lot of kids who are going in high school right now, high school seniors, they're going to kind of go the native mint route, unfortunately. But with this rev share, like, coaches have a decision to make at this point. It's like, okay, I know I've got this much money in rev share. NIL is a different conversation, but do I spend a bunch out of that pot and try to get these high school seniors, in November or whatever for the early signing period? Or do I want to hang on to that for later and see what it looks like with the transfer portal? The flip side of that is, like, these high school kids understand that and they know that. And so several of them are already talking about, you know what, I just might wait and play my high school season, and then I'll sign during the late period, which is exactly when transfer portal season is going on. So you might have a bunch of McDonald's All-Americans and transfer portal guys all getting recruited at the exact same time. What's going to stretch things out. And so we might see more of, instead of, hey, let's bring a basketball recruit to the Notre Dame football game. Well, no, let's bring him to the Louisville basketball game at home, or let's wait until Kentucky comes to town, whenever that's going to be, and get a couple 5-stars in for that, because more of these guys are going to be available. So we didn't, a lot of times we'll see guys who are currently high school juniors who are coming to big basketball games because the seniors are already committed. Now it's going to be a little bit different. I remember how cool it was that day. Nate Ament, whatever, he went to Tennessee, but when he was walking around and Darius Acuff was walking around, for that Mississippi State game, and it was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. You're seeing the crowd and the atmosphere that you would be playing in. It's not just about the campus and everything like that. So I hope that with this good schedule that Arkansas is going to have at home, they take advantage of that and get some more of these dudes in there. And I know Cal will be whining and dining them. It'll be really cool. It's going to be fun to see.
I mean, not to mention, I know Arkansas's had obviously several really good football atmospheres over the years, but it's like there would be a high possibility you bring someone in for, some game, and all of a sudden, I mean, because we've seen some dark, ominous atmospheres in Razorback Stadium for football. And to your point, like, it's a little bit, it's one thing to say, yeah, look at how excited everyone is for football that you're not going to be playing and you don't really care about, which a lot of these kids really don't. Being able to show them basketball is for sure. And I think that will help Arkansas for sure. Because, I mean, their basketball atmosphere is going to, like, that speaks for itself. Whereas some of these people, it's like, if you're competing against, I mean, LSU is not a big basketball, but it's like, if you're competing against LSU and you're doing football atmospheres, that's a tough one for you to win. But, like, basketball, that should be, and with the home schedule Arkansas has got this year, definitely seems ideal for Arkansas in these circumstances.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't want to do those official visits, later in the season when things have gone south for Arkansas and the crowd ain't that great in football. And they got an 11 a.m. kickoff against, Auburn or whoever. Like, that's just not the time you want to bring in this a big time recruit and be like, hey man, check out the environment that's going on here when everyone's booing the team off the field. So just not a circumstance you want to be
Although
in.
The Texas football game in 2021, most successful recruiting weekend in the history of Arkansas athletics, all three sports. There's like 19 commits that happened that weekend across all programs. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was the Nick Smith was there, right?
He was.
I know he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's amazing how things just change so quickly. But who knows? Maybe that'll be the Notre Dame game. Maybe they'll rush the field again at 2:30 in the afternoon or whatever it ends up being. So, but good stuff there. I know we're going to get to your chats in a second, but I did want to bring up our Alumni Hall question of the day, because we'll talk some football too with some other SEC teams here as we're live at SEC Media Days in Atlanta. But since we had Ole Miss and LSU, it felt like it was only proper. Again, go to alumnihall.com, and you can also check out their entire inventory that they have when it comes to all things Razorback apparel. You can check out their website, insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. Use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off. You can also check them out in store, 3417 North College Avenue LSU, Brian Kelly went earlier today. The only takeaway I have from that, because I'll be honest, most of the coaches are pretty boring. He's tired of losing the home opener. About it. And then Ole Miss is going to be going later today, which these are the only two teams that are going today at SEC Football Media Days that Arkansas is playing. So I want you guys' take. If you had a choice, if you'd rather beat Ole Miss on the road, which is game 3, or would you rather beat LSU on the road this upcoming football season? Is there one that you would prefer? Obviously, win both. I know. But if you had to choose one, which one would you do?
Man, I feel similarly about these two teams, if I'm being honest. I think LSU is going to be better than Ole Miss this year, but I think I would go with Ole Miss. I think I would rather beat them. I know it's earlier in the year, so it might be less consequential, but that game really pissed me off last year. I mean, they came in here and hung 60 some odd points on you, throwing the football over the place, dunking on the stupid basketball goal on the sidelines. They were showing you up. You basically quit on the field in the second half. Like, that was incredibly embarrassing. I didn't like anything about that. I'm still mad at Lane Kiffin for throwing his support behind Tony Vitello during the Super Regional. So for those reasons, I will pick Ole Miss, and what's a razor thin competition for me between the two.
So I think Ole Miss is the correct answer. You know, like, I think it makes sense with all the guys they took from you, the ass kicking last year and all that. But me personally, it's always going to be LSU. Like, that's just going to be the answer forever. The one thing that's tough about this is Arkansas and LSU are playing at freaking 6 a.m. in Baton Rouge. It would be awesome to win a night game in Baton Rouge. I mean, Arkansas did that in 2021 against a pretty mediocre LSU team, but that was still one of my favorite games I've covered, is like watching Arkansas win a night game in Baton Rouge. So not having that opportunity is tough, but just for personal reasons, it's always going to be beat LSU. But I do think Ole Miss is the correct answer for Hog fans.
Well, I'll say this to both y'all's point, and especially to yours, Curtis. I think Razorback fans are pretty much feeling the same way, because it's a close vote. 56% say they'd rather beat LSU, with 44% saying they'd rather beat Ole Miss. So here's my thing: is it's like, if you take away the opponents, to me it's about the timing of the schedule. And think about how much more it would mean to beat Ole Miss on the road to start the year. I know you want to win later and win all the games, but if you assuming, which we know what assuming does to us all, assuming you beat Alabama A&M and then you beat Arkansas State, if you go on the road and beat Ole Miss, your next game is at home against Notre Dame. And going back to the whole official visit thing, what if Arkansas is 3-0 going into that Notre Dame game at home? I know it's at 11 a.m. If they're 3-0 and they just came out with a big win, just imagine the atmosphere and how much better it'll be than if they got curb stomped to Ole Miss as again. So LSU is LSU. Yeah, I want to win, and I'll take either one. But to me, just for the timing and the momentum and the sake of good, fun, clean action we can have against a Notre Dame team that you've never played before in the history of the program, I'd like to be 3-0 going into that game rather than 2-1. So I'd go with Ole Miss.
Well, I think that they have – I might be wrong. I think that they have Memphis sandwiched in between.
You're right. Yes,
That's correct. The only thing that scares me about that, because it would be a very, very Arkansas thing to do, to beat Ole Miss and be 3-0 and have that home game against Notre Dame looming, and then just go lose to Memphis in the freaking Liberty Bowl.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
Which, by the way, Curtis, the rest of the story would play out as you'd lose to Memphis, you'd lose to Notre Dame, of course. You'd probably lose a few, you know what I mean? Like, you would wind up like having a 3-0 start and a 4-8 finish or something like that. That would not go over well. So actually, yes, John, you're thinking about it from that standpoint. Your method is actually the more cruel option for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
That's true. That's true. I guess that's probably what I'm into. I like the cruelty that could come along with it. So, okay. But yeah, but it makes sense though. I don't know. I want to have it. I like having a stretch. There's something about it, just having a stretch during the year where everything's building instead of the back and forth crap. You know what I'm saying? Like when Arkansas in 2021 started 4-0, like how much fun that was. Even though they lost 3 straight after that, it was fun and it built up. And then you finish the season a little bit stronger. I just want to have that to where it's not this, you pull me back in after I left and then you break my heart again. Just at least give me a stretch. Just give me a stretch of success that can, before I get my heart torn out. And then when it gets torn out, leave it out. And then we can move on from there. But give me some hope. Give me some fun in the beginning.
Can I also throw out there, and I don't know why I didn't mention this off the top, but all of Arkansas's former players on Ole Miss's team.
Great point.
Another reason why I would really prefer that they win that game.
That's why I felt like it's the correct answer. You know what I mean? Because like that would be such a sweet victory of like sticking it to them. And obviously Arkansas and Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin and Sam Pittman are going to be kind of tied together for a while, and the fan bases clearly hate each other. That's why I will accept that it is the correct answer, but just me personally, I don't have as much hatred in my heart for Lane Kiffin and honestly all those guys as much as Hog fans do.
And I'm not saying that those guys stink, but I was reading a pre-SEC media day report on Ole Miss's transfers and summer workouts and everything. And the only one that got mentioned was Braxton. And it was basically just, he's fully cleared and participating. But like they were talking about standouts and everything like that. And I might need to go read it again, but I didn't see anything about Coot and I didn't see anything about Luke Has either. So,
yeah, maybe they made the right decision to let him go. Sam Pittman wins out.
He was right all along.
Yeah, they're Johnny Damon. That was in Moneyball. That was the big guy. It's like they let him go to the Red Sox, and it's like actually you can replace his production with much easier stuff. Luke Has is just Johnny Damon.
Yep, that's what it sounds like to me. So but no, that is a great point about the ones there. And also, I look at it too. If you're not going to have a great year, which we all hope Arkansas does, but if you're not going to have a great year, it's always fun to ruin someone else's season. So like, who would be more detrimental? Like, what loss for the other team to Arkansas would be more detrimental? And I'm like LSU, I think would be pretty bad because they always have high expectations. But there's something hilarious about like Arkansas beating Ole Miss, and that's what always keeps them out from something, keeps them out of an SEC title game, keeps them out of a playoff. So there'd just be something really funny if Ole Miss went 9-3 again this next year, and if they just would have gone 10-2, they would have gone to the college football playoff. But instead, they had to lose to Arkansas in Game 3 at home. But there'd just be something really funny about that. So, but yeah, that could be another pop there too. So, would we consider this breaking news, Andrew? Did you see this? Or I don't want to steal your thunder if so.
You talking about Landon Schaefer?
Yeah.
We can talk about it. I feel like we should talk about it, but
okay.
I'm going to be meaner about it than I feel like most Hog fans will like.
Yeah, well, just to let everybody know that Fayetteville High School infielder Landon Schaefer, who is the highest prep signee, he has withdrawn from the MLB Draft and will be a Razorback. So
did he put out a tweet now, John? Or did he put out something?
I just saw the report of it. I have not seen a tweet. Dudley Dawson is the one that was reporting it. So
okay, what was Dudley's wording of it? Exactly. If you could read that for me. I
mean, the exact thing I said. Fayetteville High School infielder Landon Schaefer, Arkansas's highest rated prep signee, has withdrawn from the MLB Draft and will be becoming a Razorback.
Okay, he used the term withdrawn, eh?
That's what he said.
Okay, that's interesting. So one, Landon Schaefer, this is very notable because he's a, depending on where you look, a top 100 draft prospect. And again, not a top 100 prospect in his class. Joe Doyle had him number 66 overall in this draft and like a top 10 player overall in the high school ranks. Very big deal. I mean, there's a lot of high school shortstops in this draft, and Landon Schaefer is one of them. This is a big deal, and this is a guy that if you've been listening to Bombastic, I've been saying from the jump, do not expect this guy to come to campus. Do not even do a lineup projection that has him. Do not even consider it because it's not worth it. I said if he comes to campus, we'll celebrate it, but do not expect it to happen. And pretty much everyone in his campus put that out there. That like he doesn't have a ton of interest in going to school. Like he's pretty dead set on signing. And so hearing that term withdrawn from the draft, which one again, like you don't really withdraw from the draft because there's not like a you don't like there's not a process where you have to really declare and do all these things. So that's interesting. I imagine he's going to get drafted later, like in the 18th, 19th, 20th round. And then, of course, at that point, you're most likely that's just a team taking a flyer. I'll be interested to see because I think that one's going to, even if he does get drafted late, I do still think it's going to be one that will probably have to sweat out. But he is telling people, him and his family are telling people now they're coming to school. He hasn't moved in yet. Like a lot of the freshmen in his class have already moved in, like Carson Brumbaugh and a few of those other guys. He has not moved in yet, despite living in Fayetteville. So maybe he'll start that process now. The thing that's interesting about it is I don't know what Arkansas is going to do from a position player standpoint because their projected starting shortstop, Dylan Grego, who's also draft eligible, the Ball State transfer, third team All-American. If he doesn't get drafted, maybe he ends up moving somewhere else. But, I mean, you got TJ Pompey at third. You've got Cam Kojal. You've got Nolan Souza. You've got Dylan Grego. You've got Carson Brumbaugh also. It's like there's a lot of infielders there and a lot of guys who are going to want to play on the dirt and not a ton of spots. And so that's going to be very interesting. I don't think Arkansas's coaching staff went into this being like, oh, yeah, we've got Landon Schaefer coming and he's going to start at shortstop. So it's going to be a fascinating fall to see all it play out. And it's also why I'm not going to like celebrate Landon Schaefer being a Razorback until the window passes that he is signed, that he can no longer sign. But this would very, very much be a notable development. One of the best. I mean, he's Arkansas's top high school signee. So if he doesn't, if he doesn't go to the draft, he doesn't end up signing. McLean Moody from Fort Smith, the right-hander, he still is going to have a good chance to sign. But if Landon Schaefer makes it to campus, pretty much the entire class could make it to campus, which would be pretty notable. This is a much better high school class than they had a year ago.
Well, and also to add to that, there's a report, I guess, from Hog Sports that's also saying that Landon Schaefer informed them that he is staying in Fayetteville to be a Razorback. So for what that's worth.
See,
yeah,
okay, now that makes more sense because that's, again, that's kind of where his stance or whatever. The term withdrawn is always thrown off to me because I'm like, what do you mean you've withdrawn from the draft that you didn't enter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do you withdraw from the draft? But I think, I mean, it's his family's telling everybody that they're coming to school. So we'll see how that plays out. I will say this has happened before, though. Braylon Bishop did it 2 years ago. A kid that on the day of the draft is like, no, I'm going to Fayetteville, and then he gets drafted and signs for like $900,000, and you're like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we'll get into the chat and do a little vibe checking of it and everything. And it's presented by our friends over at Basis Health, where they are changing the way that healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, high B hydration, and so much more. Basis Health, they are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. Also, real quick before we get into the chat, guys, just remind me, did I ever say anything about Shane Beamer to make him know who I am? And I'm not saying this to flex. The dude was doing over here in an interview with the Crane and Company guys, and he kept looking over at me, and he waved to me twice, and then he was doing this as in, like, you trying to talk to me? I was like, no, I'm on the air right here. And he goes, oh, okay. It was just very weird. Like, usually coaches are like, well, no, I was signaling as this, like, his SID was over here, and I'm like doing that, and then he was just, oh, no, I just got to go over here because they have their list of numbers. But I was sitting there, I was like, was he thinking that I was somebody else, or was he thinking that he was going to come on with me, so he's being nice? I don't know, but it was just very odd. But it was kind of cool because I really don't like the guy, but he seemed nice. So just wanted to make sure that I didn't ever say anything that make him think that I don't like him, or maybe he was like trolling me. We
could have asked him about Doyle. We could have asked him about Rocket. I think we had a bunch of things we could have asked him about. Being a dick to Dudley. Was it Dudley?
It was Dudley.
He had to apologize to after that game. Yeah. So.
There's a ton of stuff to talk about with Shane Beamer, and he's a hot commodity. I mean, coming off of did they win 10 games last year, or was it 9 because Burt beat him in the bowl game?
I think it was 9.
I think that's right. Yeah,
they finished at like 9-4 or whatever. But I mean, Shane Beamer. I've always been a hater, but he's kind of won me over. I got to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I was just was Dudley the one that when he answered that too, like you guys were talking about, where he just had the worst facial expression ever, where he's just kind of like,
I remember exactly the question
like that. It was like, what in the world?
It was about Rocket Sanders because I think Rocket had run for like 175 yards or something like that, and Drew Sanders had like 3 or 4 sacks. And so Dudley was like, "Hey, what did you think of the two Sanders? What'd you think of their performance?" And Shane was like, "Yeah, sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to their linebacker play during the game. So I couldn't give you an answer on that one. Like, acted like it was the stupidest question. It's like." About a guy that sacked you 3 times. Like, I would have maybe kept an eye on him. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it would have, had a takeaway from somebody that was tearing up my offense. So, yeah, I don't know. But I guess because I feel like South Carolina, too, they've had a losing season, winning season, losing season, winning season. We're pretty much up and down, too. So, but either way, just want to get that out of the way. But we will get to some of your chats and discussing some things here, too, folks. As know there's like some baseball talk with some draft stuff going on as well. But let's see. We got Chakota just says grad transfer catcher from Eastern Michigan just committed. Good midweek backup catcher, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's funny because again, Razorback fans do not understand what Ryder Helfrich is, and so throughout this entire process, I've seen people being like, "Hey, what about this transfer catcher from wherever? He hit 17 home runs last year." I'm like, buddy, there's not going to be a transfer catcher that is like a big-time player that is going to come to Arkansas, nor should he come to Arkansas. And that's not to say that this kid is not a big-time player, but this is about the level of commitment that you expected to get for your backup catcher spot. Carson Willis is the only other catcher on the roster, and he redshirted this past year. So I kind of wondered, I was like, is Arkansas just going to kind of let it roll, like really just assume Ryder Helfrich's going to play every single game? I will say, though, Ryder played like each of the final like 29 games, like it was like he did not rest at all down the stretch. So again, as a junior, I don't expect him to play less. I really didn't think it was that big of a deal. I was kind of content for Arkansas to just have like nobody back there behind him, but good to see them get at least some insurance. I mean, he hit 289 last year at Eastern Michigan. Has been around college baseball for a while, so he's got some experience. Seems like a very, very solid backup catcher option. And then who knows? I mean, if he ends up being better than they expected, then maybe you can, give Ryder a few more days off than you expected. But I like to pick up. I think it's just kind of it's something that they probably just needed to do. Like, it's not going to blow anyone away, but it's not like you really need to sell the farm for your backup catcher.
Also, Gunner Files says, I'm really happy for all the guys being drafted, but I was hoping for Jimenez to come back next year.
You did it really good right there. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is a surprise too. I'd say this and Landon Schaefer are the two surprises so far of the draft. Did not expect Landon Schaefer to come to campus, and it seems like he might. Aiden Jimenez very much expected him to come back to campus. Seems like he won't. I mean, hey, all along with Aiden Jimenez, we felt like stuff was in place. The staff had already planted seeds, kind of preparing for him to come back next year. The fine print at the bottom though was always, but if you get an offer that you can't turn down in the draft, you probably have to take it. And Aiden Jimenez, who Joe Doyle's last projection or his last ranking had Aiden Jimenez at number 608, which would be like, the 16th round or something like that. That round, that's a lot easier to turn down that kind of money. And it's a lot easier to, kind of assume, oh, hey, he could really improve by coming to school next year. He ends up getting drafted in the 5th round. Not saying he couldn't come back and do really well. I don't know if you can really realistically see a path where it's like he's going to come back, be a year older, because he is a sophomore, but he's a third-year sophomore. So he's a legit 21, about to turn 22 years old. Probably, if he got a number that he liked, probably hard to turn that down. It is surprising, but Arkansas's got some things in place their pitching staff. They're going to be fine. I think they're equipped to deal with a blow like this.
Also, like this from Finch, he just says, Curtis, a buddy of mine just admitted he's not been able to keep up with the Hogs since being a new dad to his number 3 kid. Asked if we were looking at the Final Four, simply told him to hit up the pot at the Palace. So
hit up the pot at the Palace, man. I like that. Every morning, 6 a.m. We've had a bunch of good stuff. We just put out a recruiting heavy episode this morning. He can look into Arkansas's prospects for getting in Final Fours in the future. But yeah, baby number 3. I can't even pay attention trying to get ready for baby number 1. I can't imagine having 3 kids running around. So Godspeed, my friend.
Can I say something real quick that I think is maybe going to, make the dads not happy? I don't know if having a kid is a good excuse for not watching content. Like if you're like, hey, you haven't been coming out to the pub. Okay, yeah, you have a kid. You probably can't do that. You're not able to consume YouTube because of the child. I feel like when you have a kid, that's when your YouTube rate goes up because you're at home
listening to everything.
You know what I mean?
I can't speak on the matter, but I just feel like there's somebody
None of
like
us
you
have
said,
kids, so it's natural that I ask this question.
There ain't gonna be no lullabies in this household. It's gonna be listen to Bombastic. Calm yourself down at night, young man. That's what we're doing. Andrew Ellis is gonna be soothing. His voice is gonna be soothing my child to sleep. It's already set in stone.
And he's going to be so obsessed with baseball that he doesn't even want to talk basketball. He don't want to play basketball. He's just, you got to be careful with what your kids listen to these days. It's can lead them astray if that happens. But I also just love that was kid number 3. It's like, one I could keep up with. 2, I'm still on the Hogs, but once that kid number 3 comes in, I have no idea what's going on with the Hogs.
He's probably his household's been overtaken. He's watching Paw Patrol or Bluey or whatever the heck. It ain't happening around these parts. We're setting the tone early.
By the way, I see a bunch of people that are like saying, no, YouTube's when your kids are older. I'm not saying the kid is going to be watching. I'm saying like with a newborn child that's 6 weeks old or whatever, you literally just sit on the couch holding them, feeding them, changing their diapers, doing whatever.
Headphone in.
Like when your kid gets older, then you have to take them to stuff. Y'all are missing the point I'm making completely. I'm saying you are going to be in your house on your couch in front of a TV with a newborn more than you would be without a child or with a kid that's older. Am I making sense? Am I getting through to everybody here at some point?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Because obviously, you got to change diapers. You got to hold the kid. You got to be doing all this. All of those activities can be done in front of a TV, and in fact, will be done in front of a TV.
Yeah, it's what was it, the Jim Gaffigan skit he always talks about? He's like, I have 5 kids, and if you want to know what 5 kids are like, imagine having 4 kids, and then and you're drowning, and someone hands you a baby. Like, so I guess just once you have that extra one, it
Breaking
just
news.
throws in.
Hit the button, John. With the 236th pick in the 8th round, the San Francisco Giants select. Do y'all want to guess? Y'all want to guess who the next draft pick is? I bet y'all will not get it right on the first guess.
Is it a pitcher or is it a fielder?
Yeah,
it is a pitcher.
Pitcher.
What'd you say, Curtis?
I was gonna say, give us a hitter or pitcher.
Okay, yeah, it's a pitcher.
Geez, hold on a second.
Don't look at the chat.
Really?
I'm gonna say Bybee.
It is Ben Bybee.
Is it really?
Ben Bybee gets drafted in the 8th round, 236th overall pick for the San Francisco Giants. I don't know how many times the Giants have picked a Razorback either, but this is a good one, man. You know, it's funny. I think I said it on the pod the other day. I was like, Ben Bybee was not on Joe Doyle's final 615 overall, like rankings. And I kind of thought that was interesting. Like, I saw Parker Coyle on a couple draft lists, but like, I had heard that Ben Bybee was connected to MLB teams. I don't know if I necessarily thought 8th round, but the guy's got good stuff and potential starter. I mean, throws 3 or 4 pitches, big, projectable. Good for him, man. I love to see that. The slot value is $232,000. So we'll see what, if he gets close to that number. But good for Ben Bybee, man. I'm excited to see him get a chance at pro ball for sure.
Well, there you go. The kids just keep adding to the list of Razorbacks getting drafted this year in the MLB. Let's see. We're talking about the football thing too. Papa Dragon just says, I think beating LSU would be funnier since it would drastically increase the chance of Kelly getting fired, which is true because they can't be doing these 9-3 seasons anymore, guys. LSU's fed up, and they're just like, we demand results right now, and so these 9-3 years got to go.
When do they play LSU? It's late in the year.
Yes, I had actually. I probably should know this. I scheduled by heart, but apparently I didn't even know and got mixed up with Memphis. Yeah, it's so for this year they're playing LSU Saturday, November 15th.
Yeah,
it's the third to last game of the year. So
yeah, I mean, if you lose to Arkansas, like if you're in 5-4 territory and you lose to Arkansas, it's like that's a tough one.
Little nooner on the bayou. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't even know who would be the interim coach down there for LSU if they fired somebody like that. So trying to think of somebody that would be there, but I don't know. Like, it's not Ed Orgeron. Just bring him back. He's not doing anything. Just make him be the interim coach once again. Let's see. Also, what was the oh, yeah. Hayden Short said this. He's like, I have an absolute cursed observation that I cannot unsee. Malik Thomas has way too many similar facial features to Michael Cera for it to make any sense, but it's true.
This is fascinating stuff right here.
Okay.
I don't even have a reaction really.
No,
this is fascinating, dude. Pull up a picture of Michael Cera for those that do not know. We're talking about the kid from is he what is
Super
he
bad.
from?
Super
So
bad.
I would say Super Bad, right? And then Scott Pilgrim versus the World and all that. I did not think he looked like Malik Thomas, but I kind of want to see a side by side now.
I'm not saying I need to save some pictures here.
I'm looking at leak.
Okay, well, if you could say, I mean, yeah, I'm about to say we got to get to this hard hitting stuff right here because this is important. We got to decide if this is a true thing or not.
I think it's the long neck.
Okay, that's Michael Cera. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Malik Thomas in here because I'm sure I'm sure this is something he'd be very complimented of.
I doubt he's gotten this before.
This might be a new one on him.
You look like that Super Bad guy.
But yeah, so and then for Malik Thomas, I'm just going to put him over our faces so that way we can all just do the compare and contrast. But for Malik Thomas, you got. As soon as I can upload it here. See, why didn't you tell us this before? There we go, guys. Is there any similarities there?
I don't know if I really see it necessarily.
Oh, man.
I mean, I think they
crazy, bro.
I think Maybe the neck. Maybe the neck is.
I think the neck is what it. I looked up Michael Cera super bad because I wanted to get him at a younger, an age more reflective of where Leak is, and that neck was poking. Long neck, man.
Okay.
And then you can kind of start connecting a few dots there.
Okay. But besides that, they both have ears, so I do know that.
I do have that.
So, well, that's a fascinating observation. I'll have to remember that one. I was thrown off by that, but hey, whatever works. Okay. Well, now we got that out of the way. We got that taken care of. Everything.
That was good.
Jeez, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Let's see. Also, too, Lane Kiffin is actually going right now. Currently, he's about to wrap up there at the main room that's just down below over here at SEC Media Days. And
he's the hippopotamus again.
Well, I mean, that's not surprising. That's the thing is, like, everyone, there's a difference between Lane Kiffin on Twitter and a Lane Kiffin in person. Not to say that he's boring in person, but everyone I remember thinking was just saying, hey, like, Lane Kiffin, I can't wait to hear from him at Media Days. He's going to drop some crazy stuff and all that. And he doesn't. Like, it's usually pretty to the point and everything. But I know that every coach, of course, is going to be talking about revenue sharing and NIL. And one of the things I saw he said is he made the joke. He's like, I think it's pretty obvious that some people are spending a little bit over their NIL rev sharing. I think it's obvious to everybody. I was like, no way.
Including you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a $20 million roster. It's like, oh, yeah, these guys are spending a lot of money.
Yes. Because it's like, he's like, yeah, I think the exact quote was, I think it's pretty obvious people have not been staying within that cap. Well, I mean, he didn't say he wasn't. He just said, I think it's obvious people weren't. So, yeah, as if this is the whole thing with the rev share deals. Just cracks me up all the time. That was the thing I've talked about with Pittman and everybody. If anyone thought that, okay, well, once the rev share happens, $20.5 million across the board, that's all we got, everybody. And then all the teams are going to be like, yes, sir, yes, sir. That's all we're going to spend. We don't need this extra player. We'll just give them to somebody else. Like all that stuff. Come on now. It's
especially now that the clearinghouse or NIL whatever the hell it's called, College Sports Commission is denying all the NIL deals that people are submitting. I would be overpaying too.
Golly, what a mess, man.
The hell was going through the process, man. No way.
Like, I love college athletics, so we all do. We love watching college sports, and college football is still, my favorite. But even just talking to guys last night here, it's just changing so much, and you keep seeing these back and forths about because before it was always just, hey, the NCAA, and then it kind of came into conferences, and then it came into television, and then it came into certain institutions, and then once the legal system came in, which I'm not getting mad at it, but once the legal system came in, and you had legislature written for it, you had bills being announced and everything. It's just like, we just go back to playing football and having fun. It just feels like it's always got to be something like this. A lot of these coaches are not going to be talking about their team necessarily. They're just going to be talking about stuff that in a lot of cases they don't have any control over or anything like that. So it's just amazing how year after year it always changes. But from just a year ago to where it's at now, man, I have no idea. I have no idea if revenue share is going to stick. I have no idea what the NIL is going to look like. The clearinghouse, as you mentioned, Curtis, is like, what a joke. Like, what is this? What are we doing here? I have no idea.
That's why I really appreciated John Calipari and his quotes about it the other day, because he was like, if someone tells you they know how this is going to go, they're lying.
Yes.
And they are. Nobody really knows. And he even said it himself at the very end. He was like, it's a guessing game for me, just like everybody else. And there's no telling what this is going to look like. And as soon as people get a hand on it, they're going to make more changes. So who the hell knows, man?
I appreciate his honesty on this. And that's why I think it's so crazy that you have all these schools and these coaches who really are like, this is going to be what changes our standing in college sports. We are going to, it's like, how can you possibly predict that? It's like, you may even be super prepared, but it's like, who's to say that other schools aren't? And they're not having these same conversations. And so I appreciate John Calipari, who actually, by the way, if anyone was going to take advantage of this kind of stuff, it would be him being transparent and being like, yeah, this is a complete disaster. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
John, will you please respond to the Peach Bowl CEO and get him set up for this interview? I've gotten like 15 emails about this guy trying to get
they got to relax, man. They do this every year. Where listen, I love having guests on. Like we're gonna have a lot of different guests. Like tomorrow we got Dari Noka coming. Dari Noka coming on. We got Peter Burns coming on. Listen, like it's great to have guests, but there's just let me decide who I want to talk to. No offense to the Peach Bowl CEO, but like, what is the? Do you think like I want to poll? That should be our poll question for tomorrow, Razorback fans. Would you like to hear from the Peach Bowl CEO? Like, who cares? But yeah, between that and then Mr. College Football himself. It's just like, I mean, I get it, but it is what it is. I'm kind of excited though, because apparently intern Reagan's here and she's freaking out because apparently she got to ask a question to Lane Kiffin in the big room. So I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see that. So I have to check that out. But this is such a stupid event. It's so dumb, but I
hope she's the one. Somebody asked him about his social media throwing shade at Hugh Freeze. Maybe that was her.
Yes, that would. Now, if that happened, yeah, that would. That's the type of stuff that she needs to. The hard hitting questions. She needs.
We don't care about replacing Jackson Dart. All right, we want to know about your subtweets.
Yes, it would be pretty funny. By the way, she's credentialed through Inside Arkansas.
Yeah,
that would be funny if like our Inside Arkansas's first like big move on television came from intern Reagan.
I mean, it really did. Yeah, she's freaking out over here.
Hey, the brand, represent the brand any way possible, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we'll have to get the clip of it, and we'll make sure that she finds it. But yeah, that is funny though. I didn't even think about that, Andrew. First breakthrough on national television for Inside Arkansas. Leave it to intern Reagan to be the one that breaks down. Yeah, yes, that's true. That's true. It's probably for the best. That's awesome. All right, so we'll get to some more of your chats too, folks, and keep it moving here on the show. But we do have to get into, of course, what our best and worst of the weekend was, presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty, because we all know that sometimes it can wait. You have to wait months, years, even decades to sell your home the traditional way. Well, don't worry about doing that, because at Looper Auction and Realty, they offer a faster, smarter option where you can sell your home at auction. No repairs, no contingencies, no drawn out negotiations. You set the terms, buyers compete, and you walk away with a firm closing date. Whether it's your home, an estate, or investment property, the auction method puts you in control and gets it sold fast. So call Looper Auction and Realty today at 479-996-4848. That's 479-996-4848. Or visit looperauction.com. It's Looper Auction and Realty, sold in 30, closed in 30. All right, so for the best and worst of the weekend, guys, I'll go ahead and kick it off for my best. I can tell you what will be. Actually, I'm not going to tell you my worst. You guys will probably know what all is going to be my worst for today. But my best of the weekend was just getting to see this. Well, I guess I'll pull it up. I thought I had the picture saved, but I wanted to do it. Dave Van Horn tweeting is always my favorite thing. You know, there's just something when if people you like or admire or respect that you follow on social media, and it's not that they never post, they just don't post often. And for that to happen for certain individuals, especially in the college landscape, college coaches, it's kind of a rarity. But DVH, Dave Van Horn, he's got a Twitter. He's got access to a Twitter, but he doesn't really always use his Twitter. But this time around, he used his Twitter, and I have the notifications turned on, and every time it happens, it makes me happy. So, but this is all he tweeted. Just this picture right here was simply "Go Hogs." That was all that the caption really needed. It was just "Go Hogs," and I loved it so much. So, you know, in the day of social media, which we know we're on and we know we're a part of, and with content landscaping, I hate people who are go over the top on social media and coaches that do things just to be basic and to, you know, put out tweets that mean nothing, aren't going to do anything. But it's all about quality over quantity. Dave Van Horn knows what he's doing. So I just love it when Dave Van Horn tweets, because I think I said that every time that happens, somebody converts to being a Razorback fan. So that would just made me happy seeing Dave tweet.
I mean, he's aura farming right there. Look at him. God, man, he looks great.
Yeah, dude, the sunglasses, the black on black. I mean,
he looks slim. He looks good.
Yeah, big smiles. He's like, I just got you all paid. You know, like it's a great feeling he's got to have. Great feeling he's got to have.
It's got to be a lot of fun when your job is like, all right, you're for your job this week. You know, with some of us, you know, some people have different. You know, some people are plumbers, some people are construction workers. Dave Van Horn, it's like, hey, fly you up to the Cape, and you got to go to the beach. You got to watch some baseball. You got to see some of your players. You also got to recruit some other players there. It's like it's a pretty good week at the office, I would say. Flying up to Massachusetts for a weekend.
Definitely. So yeah, that was my best of the weekend, guys.
My best of the weekend. I mean, it was today, so it was post weekend, but I still wanted to bring it up, John. I know that you've seen it by now, obviously, because you're there. But just the SEC doing the tribute for Bob Holt.
Yes.
There and saving his spot, and they had his credential there where he normally is. I know Greg Sankey spoke briefly about him in his opening remarks about Bob and the impact he made and the way he went about, asking questions. And he was just he's more of a mainstay at SEC Media Day than any of these coaches.
Yes.
than Greg Sankey, than anybody. I mean, it's unbelievable. Very, very cool to see. I expected that they were going to do something, and glad that they did. And I know that Bob would have appreciated that, and everyone who's representing Arkansas, or shoot, anyone who's there who crossed paths with Bob, which is literally everybody because he's the friendliest guy in the world. I'm sure they appreciated it too. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, this picture right here is from Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. But, I think we all knew that they were going to do something for him. Like we didn't, they've done stuff for him at the Cotton Bowl, at SEC championships. But this is a media event. So when you think of media, you got to have Bob. And Bob, more often, I was even talking to Kevin Trainer about this, who's here and he's doing the MC work, which is great to see. But I talked to him yesterday about it, and he said that there were so many times that coaches, depending on the coach, whoever opened up, whether it was Gus Malzahn or whoever, it's like, well, they would skip Kevin, not even let Kevin say who he's calling on. Gus would just be like, hey, all right, Bob, go ahead. Because they just knew he had a question and they knew he was going to ask it. And real quick, another cool thing I learned from Kevin, which is not surprising about Bob, he said that if there was ever times, because there were times, maybe not so much anymore, but there were times that certain coaches would come in and some media just would run out of questions in that 30-minute block. Like nobody would be asking anything. He said Bob was his ultimate crutch, because then he would just be like, no, he knows Bob's got something to ask. So he would just immediately look over at Bob. If Mark Stoops only got 2 questions and one of them was about basketball, he'd just be like, Bob Holt over here. And Bob, so what'd you do over the summer? There's just something there. So I thought that was really, really cool. But you're right. You can't get enough attributes to the great Bob Holt, man.
Awesome. Am I remembering correctly? Was it just the SEC that sent flowers for Bob's service back in the day? Because I remember a lot of people. I know Nick Saban, of course, sent him flowers. When he passed. Did the SEC or Greg Sankey or somebody they put something together? So I think we knew they were going to do something like this, and deservedly so, man. It really is cool, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's not the end of the world. It wouldn't have been a huge deal if they didn't. It's just always cool to see people go above and beyond. And Bob, carries this event, and who was it that wrote that article about him during 2020 when there wasn't SEC media days, and he was like, what are we going to do? We don't get to hear from Bob this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember that. I don't remember who wrote it, but I do remember that. So yeah, that's again, can't get enough tributes of the great Bob Holt, man.
Man, I've got good stuff for best and worst of the weekend this week. Like, some weekends are better than others. But this one, John, if I were to say, and I quote, by the way, we're about to talk UFC mixed martial arts here for a second, but if I were to say the phrase, my balls was hot, does that ring a bell for you?
I know that doesn't come across my mind.
Doesn't ring a bell for you? I know it rings a bell for a lot of people.
My balls are hot?
Yeah, so there's this fighter, Derek Lewis, very large fella, and he had a huge last-second knockout about 6 or 7 years ago now at this point. And right after the fight, he took off his shorts, and there was something under there. But Joe Rogan's interviewing him afterwards, and he's like, why'd you take off your shorts, Derek? And he said, my balls was hot. And it became like a legendary thing. He ended up getting a title shot after it. He's actually the UFC's knockout leader in the promotion's history. He has more knockouts than anybody in UFC history. He added to that total this weekend. He's like almost 40 now, and the UFC just keeps giving him random fat heavyweights to knock out. He knocked a guy out in about 30 seconds, but here's the celebration, which was a lot better than the actual fight or knockout itself. Let's see, which one's the one that pulls up the videos?
Yeah, I got you right here.
Boom. There's a separate angle of it. If y'all know Will Compton, the Bussin' with the Boys, he tweeted it out. There's a different angle where Derek Lewis actually went full moon and mooned the crowd in Nashville. Well, I've been gone for 2 weeks. I want my wife next. It's going to be a lot of ground and pound. I mean, he's a legend, bro. And so I had to celebrate Derek Lewis on this beautiful Monday. He was the best thing I saw this weekend. But Superman was a very close second. Superman was very good. I'm not going to rant about it. And my last best is Kahio Aloy and Micah New. Kahio Aloy, of course, you guys know him. Micah New, we're going to have to wait. We'll find out today if he's still going to be a Razorback or not. But Arkansas's transfer center fielder from Marshall, he and Kahio were named All-Stars in the Cape, and they are going to be doing the Home Run Derby, the Cape Cod League Home Run Derby. So getting to see their look as being teammates, and they get to compete against each other in the Home Run Derby, which is really cool. Kahio is crushing this summer, having a great summer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I saw one of you guys put up the video. I was going to use that, but I'll let you guys use that. But for my worst of the weekend, again, it's just because don't travel with me, guys. I'm going to start sending you guys on your own because I just have the worst luck in traveling, no matter what. I love SEC football media days, but it's gotten better now because obviously doing the show with you guys, it always improves. But man, it has just been an absolute bleep show since arriving here. Everything's they usually allow us to set up on Sundays, but they didn't this time. I know no one's going to care about me complaining about it because they don't give a rip, but it's just a mess and it's chaotic. And I love the College Football Hall of Fame, but this thing isn't exactly set up for just a bunch of media people walking around and with microphones and cameras and internet and all that. But either way, it's not as good. And if it comes to Atlanta again, I'm not going to be coming to it. But between that and also I did lose my luggage again. The valet lost it. Luckily, I don't know if you guys knew this, I have an air tag now. And that was the way I was able to find my luggage was the air tag. So had that. Yeah, how about that? I had that happen. Again, the experience will be good. We'll have some good stuff, some great content, but it's just not what it used to be. It's just not the media days is not what it used to be. It's not as you don't have Steve Spurrier saying crazy stuff and Les Miles being weird and pod shots from coaches like Brett Bielema and Gus Malzahn, and you don't have people take themselves way too seriously here now. So anyways, it's just my old man yelling at clouds that nobody cares about. But it's just, I get here, it's going to be great. But just a reminder that SEC media days ain't as fun as it used to be. It needs to get to where if basketball media days, which I know we went to last year and we'll go again this year, if that can just elevate it a little bit more to where we can have like a radio row at basketball media days and stuff, that'll be the perfect medium. But it's just gotten too ridiculous and out of control. So anyways, that was just the worst of the weekend so far for me.
Yeah, mine is not going to be on that level, but it's a curveball, man. Again, my best and worst of the weekend have really turned out to be Monday morning events, but I'm not going to lie. I could have done without waking up this morning and seeing Conor McGregor's hog just all over social media.
I beg your pardon?
That's right.
I love that this didn't get to John, but it definitely got to me. It was the first thing I saw this morning.
The first thing this morning, and I was like, what is going on? I started to send it in our group, but I was like, no, I'm going to spare John of this. And I'm in a group chat with Hazelwood and with Andrew and with the legendary RMS. But yeah, he got leaked, man. He was sending the unsoliciteds. And I didn't need to see that man doing phallic dumbbell curls. It was awkward, it was uncomfortable, and it was really, really weird. And that's my worst of the weekend. I was literally telling Michelle, it was like, because I think about this stuff because I'm like, I want to have something good, but I was like, this wasn't the best weekend I ever had, but I really don't think I have a worse. Like nothing bad happened. Like I'm not really upset about anything. Nothing got me too fired up. But Conor McGregor getting leaked, I could have done without it, man. I didn't need that in my life. I'll never be able to unsee it.
So do y'all know Azealia Banks? Are y'all familiar with her in any way?
I actually have no idea who that is until today.
So I've heard of the name.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not super familiar with her, but from what I can tell, I think she used to be on that show Wild and Out. The like roast rap battle show. Mm-hmm. She's just an eccentric. I think she might have made music at some point, but she's a very eccentric, loudmouth woman that talks a lot of shit, is not afraid to speak her mind. So Conor McGregor had to know who he was sending that to because, literally he sends a DM just full on hog. You saw the pictures, Curtis, and thinking that Azealia Banks was going to just like let that slide and not say something about it. She just literally screenshot it and immediately put it out and was like, why is this dude sending me this? And in his message, he's like, don't rat because all rats get caught or whatever. And it's like, what? It's like, what are you talking about, dude? But Conor was off that coke, man. And it's always the time difference. I'm subscribed to Conor McGregor on Twitter, like notifications, because a lot of times he deletes his tweets. And so you only see them if you're subscribed. In Ireland, I don't know what the time difference is, 7-8 hours or whatever. You can always tell when Connor's beginning his evening activities because you just start getting influx of Coke rants or whatever. This was not one I expected, but yeah, that is a very valid worst of the weekend right there, Curtis.
That was insane.
John, did you say that I stole your worst of the weekend?
No, I'm not saying you stole it. I just thought I saw somebody put a video there, and I was going to use that as I was going to play that, but I didn't want to take it if somebody did, so that's why. Gotcha.
Well, Curtis, you are familiar with this young man. We'll have to play this one real quick. Mr. Met, who you saw a couple weeks ago, he went to the Lumineers concert in New York, and it did not go well for him.
Dropped it.
Oh. Oh.
Goodness gracious!
That's
also,
tough,
he's dressed like an asshole too. He's like dressed like he would be going to the Lumineers concert.
I mean,
we got to watch this fall again.
Yeah, just almost like in slow motion here. They're just like a very easy strut, but man, you got to watch those corners on that stage, my man. Just like look at that, man. Back
it was
into
so
the
bad
left.
that Mrs. Met had to put out a tweet and was like, "I still support my man no matter what." And I'm like, "Geez."
Man, that's got to be one of the top 5 embarrassing type of things that you could ever do as a human being is like be on a stage in front of people and fall, right? Like that's got to be up there.
I mean, hell, dropping a tambourine that they toss to you is tough as well. So to have the combo in a matter of 10 seconds is a tough one there.
Yeah. What's more embarrassing, falling off the stage in front of everybody or dropping a tambourine that's thrown to you? I mean, it's hard to choose. No, but that was great. I don't know what it is. There's just certain things in life, guys, that you see something, it just makes you laugh, and people falling is just always. There's never a time where I will not laugh about that. So yeah, that was great. I enjoyed that seeing from Mr. Met. Also because it's Mr. Met, it's just really fitting, man. Just really fitting for all of that. So, but yeah, no, I mean that's been it. It's been I know it's been busy for a weekend of sports and everything too. But yeah, other than this, the SEC Media Day stuff, it hasn't really been that bad to me yet.
It's a good weekend when our worst thing is one unsolicited nude and Mr. Met falling down. That's not too bad.
But don't let Conor McGregor curb your enthusiasm.
Yeah, well, I would never make that mistake.
Gosh, see, I'm gonna stay off Twitter for the rest of the day just in case somebody retweets it and it just pops up. And the
shout out to Smitty here for saying Conor McGregor has fallen off. He's not even a role model anymore. The guy who has like several assault and rape charges thrown his way, no longer a role model. We can confirm.
To be the president of Ireland. What are we talking about?
Future president.
Oh man. I tell you what, because I know we'll have some more chats to get into as well. But we do want to do a little bit of our summer topic discussion, which has always been really fun, and we will do that. And it's presented by our friends over at the Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, where we know it's hot outside and it's in the middle of July. Well, you want to be able to have access to a boat. You may not want to own a boat because it is a lot of work, a lot of money. You got to get a slip, marina, you got to maintenance it, clean it, all that stuff. Well, don't worry about all of that. Just let Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas take care of you, where you just go on, have a great time on the boat, bring it back. Simple as that. They have 3 locations in Arkansas, and lake time is closer than you think. It could be Greer's Ferry Lake, it could be Lake Hamilton, or it could just be a day on the river in Little Rock. Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas is going to make your summer in the natural state the best one yet. So check out their website at freedomboatclubar.com today to learn more about the benefits of joining the club. That's freedomboatclubar.com. Okay, so guys, since we have some other things to talk about, we may skimp a little bit on the summer topics. Also, because too, I want to save them for tomorrow in case I, get busy with other stuff. But either way, I was curious about you guys because this is the type of crap that we discuss in media days, not the hard hitting stuff. But generically speaking, besides a fight song, what is in sports, mainly college sports? What's the best marching band song that can be played? Like when you hear the marching band play this song, and it can be a pop song, rap song, just a generic band song, but besides fight songs unique to that, is there a song that anytime a band starts playing, you're like, oh yeah, that got me? Because we started thinking about the EA Sports college football video game with all the different marching bands they have. Is there one that stands out to y'all for that?
Oh man, my dad's gonna be mad at me because he did marching band in college, the drums. But Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the band. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't. So no, like there's not one. Like there are plenty that I like. Sometimes I get surprised when I hear, like they've clearly been practicing, one of the newest, like whatever the big pop song is or whatever. I'm like, oh damn, the band's doing that. That's kind of cool. But I don't know if I can pick out one off the top that every time I hear it, I'm like, oh hell yeah, there we go.
What's your favorite Green Day track, Curtis? Because the Razorback Hog Wild band almost certainly plays it in Bud Walton. Yeah. By the way, Logan has a great answer here, right above it by Lil Wayne. The Hog Wild band does a pretty good job of that. Yeah, I like most of the Green Day ones that they do at Bud Walton. This is a random one that is kind of obscure, and people probably don't even realize what this is. There was the show Loki a few years ago, and it was a good show, but the theme song of it became very popular with college bands at football. It's like don 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 don. I know that doesn't sound familiar, me doing it, but like it once you like know it, you're like, oh yeah, that's that. You're gonna start hearing it this fall. Be on the lookout for that song. It is a big one, but I love that. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of like the ones that Arkansas always play, like the NFL Today theme song. The one that Bubba Hogg would dance to. Like that's it's just some stuff that's stuck out like there. The generic ones of of course now I just lost the name of it, but the one that every band plays, the da 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 da, like that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just something where if you it's anytime someone plays a unique one, like one that you're just like, wow, someone did the marching band one for that one too. So yeah.
Are you a fan of Will You Be My Girl?
Yes, I am a fan of that one.
That is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that one. And we got to get away from the White Stripes and Seven Nation Army. Got to get away from that one. Yeah, so it's just, marching bands are still kind of part of it, although only in football and in basketball. No other sport apparently can have a marching band in college. That's the rules that's been set in spot. So, but yeah, that was one of the ones that I thought of. And also, too, like when Arkansas plays UAPB or anything like that, everyone goes to watch the band. So if the band has a great song with a great performance mixed into it, it always gets pretty great. So, but also loved a Hog fanboy just says it's hard to be humble. Yeah, it's usually a good one because that means your team won. So, but Kingsley just says Game of Thrones is always cool to hear in the Sopranos theme song. Got yourself a gun. Yeah, it's a good one too. So
have college bands done that?
I'm assuming
so.
I'm
sure there is some band that's done all that, but I'm trying to think. Like I don't know if I've heard that. That would be pretty sick though.
Yeah. So let me reverse it. Is there a song that the band plays that you guys can't stand? You're sick and tired of hearing it, and they play it way too dadgum much? Because like I feel that way with the Florida Gator one. The da na 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 na. I know that's kind of not that their fight song, but like that one gets annoying. Boomer Sooner, stuff like that. But I don't know.
I would say Neck probably. Like I'm tired of hearing Neck.
Yeah, Neck's a bad one too. I don't know.
I honestly don't have many that I'm like anti. That I don't like. I don't love all of them, but like there's very few that like really irk me, I guess.
Yeah, just I get tired. Well, I just also get tired. No offense. Get tired of seeing and hearing the best in sight and sound. Come on, guys. Like we need to come up with a better moniker than that. Razorback marching band. I know you want to feel like you are, but that's a bold claim. And for you guys to be every halftime year playing that, the Queen's greatest hits every single year, maybe you can't say you're the best in sight and sound anymore. So that's just me. Don't get me started on bands. And I know nobody wants to hear about the bands anyways. So, oh man, but either way, let's see a few of your chats here too, folks, that we'll dive into. Logan wants to know who's our home run derby winner picks.
I would have to go Acuna. Ronald Acuna Jr. might be the coolest player. He's one of the cooler athletes in the world. But in terms of baseball, like I don't know if there's a more swaggy guy in the MLB right now. But I hope he wins. But I don't know. There's some good ones. I think the kid James Wood from Washington has a good chance. Do y'all know all the participants?
I just
the kid from the Mariners, Cal Raleigh or whatever, who's about to hit like 90 home runs. He's in the Derby. I guess he's probably the favorite.
That dude's going crazy.
Yeah.
He's got 30. He's already got a career high, and it's the All-Star break.
And he's a damn catcher. He's like catching every day too. That's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at Matt Olson from the Braves, James Wood from the Nationals, Junior Caminero from the Rays, as well as Cal Raleigh from the Mariners, Chisholm from the Yankees.
O'Neal
Byron
Cruz is
Buxton.
underrated in this.
Yeah. Yeah, O'Neal Cruz and Brent Rooker from the Athletics. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll always just remember the time. I don't know if you guys remember when not Josh Howard, or was it Josh
Hamilton.
Howard? Hamilton. Yes, thank you. Josh Hamilton just belted out like 40 home runs in a single round, but it didn't matter because he lost, because that was back when the home run derby. They're just doing it round by round instead of like total. And I guess he ran out of gas, but that was always a pretty cool thing. So
Pete Alonso's not in it, right? Because he was the one that was so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, has he won it like 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, the home run derby just isn't what it used to be, I guess. Just like everything else. You know?
Steroids aren't what they used to be.
I know. Bring them back. Bring back steroids.
Do y'all like the format now, how it's a like timer and it's just however many you can hit rather than the 10 outs thing? Do y'all like that better?
I think it's pros and cons. I like the fact that it was 10 outs because then it's like you get to choose which ones you hit type of deal. You know, if you get a pitch you don't like, it's like, yeah, don't worry because you get more. But the timing thing at least puts a lot more pressure on you to where it's like, okay, yeah, you can hit home runs, but can you hit them quickly and can you do it in a timely manner? So I think there's pros and cons to it.
I think Josh Hamilton's the reason they did that, because he took freaking an hour and a half and then didn't even end up winning the Derby. You know what I mean? Like, that's what was always tough. They had a stretch for a while where it was like whoever would have the most impressive round would not win, like all the time, because it's like kind of hard. And the 10 outs thing kind of works against you if you have a round like that. And so, I don't know. I think the timing thing, it just makes it more concise. It does change it a lot, though. It's like a very different competition.
Yeah, no, it is. And, you know, I understand that in all-star games in general from sports, like, you know, the dunk contest, 3-point contest in basketball. Like, it's like sometimes it's just people are like, this year sucks. It's not what it used to be. But then they have like that one year that stands out like, holy crap, this was awesome. This was the greatest. It's just sometimes it's really good. And then sometimes it's not. You know, it's a crapshoot, just like anything. You know, sometimes the home run derby is awesome and electric. And other times it's going to be like, who are these people? Like, why'd they win? So it's a crapshoot. You just never know.
When Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Pete Alonso went head-to-head a few years ago, that was a really good one. I feel like the home run derby is not falling off as much as the dunk contest has. Like, the dunk contest used to be like the coolest thing in the world, and now I don't even watch it. Like, it's not even a thing at all. The home run derby probably isn't quite as cool, but it's like I still think it's like their fall off isn't nearly as bad.
Yeah, I just think it's about the all-stars too. Like, in the dunk contest, I always wanted to see the stars of the NBA. I don't care if Mac McClung is in it. Like, what does that do? Who cares? But if you got,
like, not even in the league.
Yeah. So, but it's, you know, if you get, obviously I know he's older, but like during the times, if you got LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter and all them in it, that'd be awesome because that'd be star driven and fun. But just don't do it anymore.
Howard is the last cool dunk contest guy.
Might be.
Speaking of Superman.
It's like, it is kind of crazy. We never saw LeBron James in a dunk contest. Like, that's craziness. That's craziness. Of all, like, that, maybe that's what keeps him from being the GOAT. You know, all the other ones played in the dunk contest, but LeBron James.
I think he should do it at like age 42. That'd be actually kind of funny if he like did it and like did it pretty well.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Also, Smitty was talking about best worst of the week, and he said the best of the week is the All-American Rejects in Fayetteville. Okay, I've seen stuff like this, guys. What is it? Is it that they announce, I think, like, from what I gather, they announce they're going to random places to play a performance, and they chose Fayetteville, and they're doing it at a random building that's there? Like, what is this?
Let me tell you exactly what happened, John, because that was almost my worst of the weekend, actually. And it really wasn't that big of a deal. So Hillary caught wind of this. They're doing like random. I don't even know what it's called. It's like a backyard show type of thing, but they're popping up in random locations and doing like a spur of the moment show. The reason it didn't work out in Fayetteville is because there was rain last night, so they had to do it indoors. They did it at that skate park on College, like I think it's called Skylight or something
Stadium,
like that.
Yeah.
Starlight Stadium. Yeah. That's where they did it, and that place only hosts, I think it can only seat like 400. It was like 400. Yeah, we can't even seat anybody because it's a skate rink. The maximum occupancy is like 460 in that building, and I don't even know how they got that in there. I went last night and stood in line for an hour and a half. Just to see if we could get tickets. We did not because we showed up a little bit late. But, yeah, it was like spur of the moment. people caught wind of it and they did it. But yeah, there was like literally 5,000 people out there, and they ended up doing 2 shows because there were so many people, and they're like, we're going to get as many as we can in here. So I think maybe, 800 people got to see it or whatever, but it was cool. I saw they were in Iowa not too long ago, and they were in just this random field in the middle of nowhere. And there was like just thousands of people all gathered around. They've been going to like people's backyards, literally people that live on a bunch of land and like doing it. It's a cool little concept. I just wasn't able to get in, so it wasn't my best of the weekend.
Oh, okay. I just kept seeing everybody talking about it, which is just funny because it's all American rejects, which I don't know, maybe they're still relevant, but they haven't been relevant in my life for 20 years. And I guess that they're still doing things. And then I also laugh too because it's like Fayetteville and Arkansas. It's like, oh, all American rejects. Over here in Atlanta, we got Beyonce doing back-to-back shows tonight. So it's been seeing some of the outfits that have been around here and all of the dancing and going crazy. It's one of those things that, you really don't realize how big of a city you're in until you see things like that, where it's like, hey, we're having the All-Star game for Major League Baseball and back-to-back nights of Beyonce and SEC Football Media Days, where SEC Football Media Days might be 18th on the list of things that are cool going on in Atlanta here in the next 2 days. So
have they been doing this on purpose? Is that going to happen every year now? The SEC Media Day is going to be in the same location as the All-Star game? Because that's back-to-back years where it's like everyone's complained about it. And I'm like, then why would y'all do it again?
I think it's they're just rotating it between Dallas, Nashville, and Atlanta for media days now every year. And so I think it's just weird classic timing. This is the only thing I can think of. So, but also I want to ask you guys this because I got an email. If, they have little events that you can go to if you're here at media days, would you guys go to a soccer match?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You wouldn't go?
I don't watch soccer.
Yeah, I don't watch soccer either. I've never been to soccer live, like a cool thing like that. I almost went in St. Louis actually, but I was like, $12 don't feel like it.
Yeah,
I'd probably but like if I would go just like for the hell of it.
It's the Atlanta United versus the Chicago Fire. It's on Wednesday night, and I don't know. I just this is like a last minute thing that they invited everybody to, and I was like, I don't even know if I would enjoy that, and it sounds like it could be pretty terrible, but or it could be cool. I don't know.
Love that hockey or that soccer team. Like I think it's a pretty like nice little place. So I don't know how cool it'll be, but you should go. You ain't got nothing better to do.
Yeah. Well, hey man, that's night before Arkansas and Sam Pittman. I got to get prepped. I got to get my stuff together, make sure I'm on my A game for all that.
Lay your outfit out on the bed and everything.
Yeah, that's right. Got to stand out for it and everything too. So, but yeah, folks, we're gonna have a lot of content here from SEC football media days. Got a lot of interviews, got a lot of things that we're going to talk about from other teams, but also with Arkansas, some national guests. We're going to have them posted. We'll also have them during Inside Arkansas Live throughout the week, too. So be sure to tune in with us and hang out with us. But, guys, before we roll out here for the day, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Well, tune into the Bombastic Podcast later today. We're going to break down the draft.
There you had it.
Go Hogs.
And said it better myself. Appreciate each and every one of you listening and watching in Inside Arkansas. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page. You can also check us out on our social medias at Inside Arkansas. And be sure to download our podcast in audio form wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or the Bombastic Podcast. And we'll keep it going from there. So for Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbor. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And we'll see you then.